helps you to be strong and face all your fears. Yes, inspires you through tears. Motivate your mind, let the march you fight home. Despite any kind of challenge you accept. Oh yeah, you will want to change and transform your life. As you think about it, you can chill for a bit. As you take care of you, know there's nothing else to do. Oh, Vibe Talk, yes, Vibe Talk.
Good morning, and welcome to Monday Motivation, or Motivational Monday. We are counting our 5 years and connecting. 5 years. I can hardly believe it that Vibe Talk started from just a thought. Just a thought. Imagine that. I'm so happy to have had this. I actually can hardly believe it. Has really been 5 years. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing better.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. I am so thankful that 5 years has been by. 5 years. I'm thankful for that today. I notice that we have been forgetting to be thankful, or have we? We look at 5 years of work that we've put some thought into, and wow, what is it looking like? Lines are open, yeah, and we want very much for you to call in. Call in, let us know how you're feeling, how you're thinking, and most of all, how you act. Because you've listened to Vibe Talk. When Vibe Talk first started, it merely just was not a passing thought, but it was something that would be helpful, or something that I thought about that would be helpful to all of the community. Now, because we have thought about how we wanted to put it together, this is your help of being able to talk out the things that maybe perhaps you didn't think that you wanted to talk about, and perhaps you may have not thought there was any hope. We changed that because now there's a support for you. We have, under no circumstances, said to you that we were doctors. We are not medical professions. We are just support groups. I am, though, a professional photographer. I'm not you, but a professional certified life coach. Been to school, been educated about it, how I want to have started it. Are you there still, Trish? Okay. And what we want is for you, ladies and gentlemen, to understand and know that we we would like very much for you. One more time, please. I made a mistake. That we're here. We're in our 5th year. I've seen so many changes and so much growth. Excuse me, I'm coming, just beginning to start healing from a cold. Can you come one more time, Trish? Please, my co-host is trying to get on. We have a new number in our 5th year. 1-888-721-9260. We will be putting that into our podcast. Every time you see us, you will see that number. The other number, the 5 or 661-503-8993, that number is still available. How are you guys doing for Motivational Monday in 5 years? That's a beautiful thing. How many of you really think about that being a beautiful thing? And good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
We are celebrating our 5-year anniversary, and we're talking about how far it has come. We are so thankful. I'm always thankful. First of all, I'm very thankful to all of you who have ran across it for the first time and decided that you wanted to be a part of it. And we've had so much experience being able to make it look like we want it. We start out, it becomes a class, a group, an individual. It became questions. It became awakening awareness. It became emotional intelligence. Can you think of some more words, Trish?
It became worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide. Speaking of that, we hit so many sticks. And that's why when you hear from us, we always say, let us know what states and countries or continents you are all calling from, islands. We want to know whether you're here or there or everywhere. And that means no addresses ever. We just want to know in that percentile how many people are we reaching? Whether it's 1%, 50%, or 100%. Just that one makes a difference. I'm going to give you a little background story, and Trish, you're welcome to tell your stories as well, of how I thought about this and how I looked at it 5 years ago. If one person listened to our podcast, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's 1%. One person. And that was my idea, to have someone that could say, wow, we listened to that podcast and that podcast was very refreshing and positive, and motivating and inspiring, and it connects you to yourself. Now, how many podcasts can we really listen to that connects you to you, makes you think about you, what you want to change, what you want to do different, what you want to do better? And in addition to that, your perception of the way you see things, you begin to see the bigger picture. All of these words, do they sound familiar to any of you that have been with us? In fact, I'm working on something that's going to have verbiage that we've used right here. And boy, have we used it. Keys, petals of life, reflection, takeaway, thought processing, thinking about, and much, much more. Our lines are open, and we welcome you to call us, and we welcome you to be able to tell us something that you particularly liked. And even if you didn't like it, we're tough skin around here. We are very proud of 5 years that we have worked on this project to connect so many people. And each year, it is our desire to bring to you what looks new and refreshing. Can you tell us what new things we've done? If you've paid attention, if you're listening by stream, you would have had to visit our YouTube page, and we encourage you to go and visit our YouTube page. It's so very important. We're going to add to iHeartRadio because I think, in all fairness, we have Spotify here, but we need to have iHeartRadio because we are on iHeartRadio. We want to make sure that we mention those because those are very, very popular channels. You can jump on anywhere you are, and what's nice is that you don't have to be here when we're here. We'd like you to be, but if it's not possible, you're going to start getting the podcast uploaded just as soon as our programming has ended here. That starts today. And so we make improvements. What kind of improvements? Ones that we think are going to make our podcast unforgettable. Have you forgotten? When we look back, we can see Vibe Talk started with no music. And then we added some background music. And then we opened it up for people to call. And we had a line that people called on. We don't want you to stop calling. What we've done is just got direct calling. Direct calling means there is no third party calling. Why do we want you to connect? Because Vibe Talk is all about connecting your way. And it's accessible because why? Accessible, I should say. Because you're immediately connected. No personal number. It is just strictly Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And if you catch me on the weekend, Saturday at 8 p.m. California time, you can still use that same line. So we don't want you to stop calling. We want to hear from you. We want to make it accessible. How many times have you listened to the radio and you wished that you could be in on the conversation? And it's so hard to get into the conversation because why? Lines are busy, or the circuits are busy. You know that sound. So now we're going to absolutely let you gain access. We're out here, but it's going to be up to you to be able to absolutely gain access. There wasn't a time ever in life until we got into the 21st century late that we knew about streaming. Everything's streaming. You can go back and you can go and watch your television programs. I know I do. Sometimes I will binge watch my favorite shows. Now you can binge in your hearing for Vibe Talk. How many episodes, Trish, do we now currently have running?
I think it's 445 now.
Okay. We're going to do a check on that just so that we're giving you guys an accurate number. Trish, thanks to you and you're being able to run that. She's done that. Such a nice job in running that. So we've got 455. Let's talk about that for a moment because we have been urging you to go to our YouTube page. Why? Because it costs you nothing. We have right now 45 subscribers. So that means that somewhere, somehow, some of you are listening. But we know that we have a wider audience. Why do we know that we have a bigger, wider audience? Because when we post the podcast, the numbers go up. So what we'd like you to do is connect to that page. We want you to visit the page. Make it your home. We have community questions. We have questions. We are streaming everywhere. You want to listen to some of the calls we've had? We even have a spot for that. And sometimes we'll put it in the front of the page. But mainly, Trish, where are those calls at?
Those calls are under our playlist, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, hashtag callers. That's where they are.
Okay, so if I'm going down the line and I'm going to playlist, how do I find it?
Just look for the title and you should see hashtag callers. That's the only one with that title right there.
Okay, so hashtag callers. I'm looking at, did I say community? What did I say? I don't even know what I just, okay, so I want to find the one that we put yesterday or day before. where the lady answered the 5 questions?
Yes, that's up there.
Okay. Are you able to find that? Because I'm on the page, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, and I'm at community.
Okay, go to videos,
Okay.
and it should be like the second video from our latest episode of After Dark. It should
Okay.
say answering questions,
Oh, feel
something.
free to answer.
Yeah.
Think about Thursday. For my Talk Facing the Lion podcast is always your opportunity to think and reflect. Here's something to think about. And let's go back to the last 5 years. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Who were the last 5 Academy Award winners? Question number 2. Who made news headlines 5 years ago? Question number 3. What concert sold the most tickets in the last 5 years? 5 years ago, what movie won an award for Best Movie? Question number 5. Who won a Grammy 5 years ago? If you guys are answering to think about these questions, that's great, but it's not necessary because time has went on in the last 5 years. We all clapped for those winners, and by now you've forgotten who they even were. Now the next 5 sets of questions are these. Who has been the most helpful to you as you look back, and why? Who do you enjoy spending time with the most? Who last made you laugh, and how did that make you feel? Who gave you the best advice when you really needed it the most? And last but not least, who has had the most impact in your life? Something to think about, because you see the last 5 questions, that set of 5 questions that I asked you made a difference in your life. Those are the real winners. And you probably remembered because it made impact on you. It's something to think about. Your host, Nancy, for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Catch our episodes and find our YouTube page.
Oh, I love that. I like those questions. I feel like initially I was worried because I'm like, oh, I don't remember any of these things. I'm not sure I'm going to get the answers right. But then you turned it into such a lovely little meditation on the things that matter. And that was just a really nice journey to go on. Thank you so much for this post.
Love, love, love that. So now when we think about why we're doing that and how will it help you? Well, I think about Thursday has found its home because we've thought of new ideas. We've thought, what would the audience like more of? Sometimes we like to do self-improvement tests. I know I like to do stuff like that. But really, it gives you something to really think about. Not necessarily that you'll have to answer, but just giving you something to think about. So that's what we'll be doing. And we hope that you'll participate either way. Everything doesn't always have to be a call-in. You can comment, you can write. We want to resource you all in the best way possible. Get you started. But you say, what do I need to get started on? Shaping up your mind, your ability to be able to heal yourself from the things that you've carried so long. Or maybe not necessarily carrying any baggage, but needing a new start, new beginning. How many times have we been there? So Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast is something to think about. We only hope that this year, in 2025, this upcoming year, that we see more activity, you know, we see more participation. You can also remain anonymous. Nobody has to know you, but the reason why we ask your name and where you're calling from, because you matter. Each and every person matters. From the 1 to the 100th, you all matter. Why? Because you took the time out to find out what we're all about. And there are thousands, thousands upon thousands of podcasts. But yet, you've chosen us to be in addition to the podcast you're already loving. We want it to be feel good. We want it to be challenging. We want it to be inspiring. We want it to touch and connect hearts and minds forever. Have you ever had the experience of maybe having something for the first time and really loving it? Can you think of anything, Trish, that you had for the first time and you really loved it?
Yes. I had pineapple pizza for the first time, and I really, really loved it.
And I had, and it doesn't have to be food, but I've had cheesecake. Really love it. So if you really love something, you want to try it again, right? Now, for those of you who are first timers and you never tried it, okay, sometimes it's a little hard to get you to try something that you've never had before. But how do you know you don't like it if you've never tried it? And I promise you, once you try it, you will like it. So we would like you to tell us how you felt about the podcast that you chose to listen to. We make sure that we try to title them. Trisha and I have meetings on Wednesday, every other Wednesday, and we talk about the things that we'd like to see more of, the things that we would like to see improvement, if we're improvement, what we need to take away, what we need to add. And we listen to each other. Thank you, Trish. we really listen to each other because, see, it's not a one-woman's podcast. Trish has put together so nicely our YouTube page. I couldn't have done this orderly. I'm always late, and that's why I said from now on, so that you guys will get the podcast the same day, I will make sure that it is being recorded for you at the same time, starting today. Because there's just times where you really want to find something that you really like and you can't find it anymore. We don't want that to happen to you. We want to put a title so that you come back and you say, you know, I really love that podcast. I want to listen to it. We're going to make it easily accessible to you. Some other changes. Trish, have you noticed some other changes?
In the last 5 years, or
Some changes have you noticed?
changes? I've noticed that we've had more series this year. We've had the Men and Their Emotions. We had the Inner Childhood series, and um, those were very impactful to the channel. Like we got a lot of people to listen to those. So that's one of the changes that I've noticed.
And we try to do series for you guys because everyone likes ongoing series. And we try to make it positive. Um, in session, I don't know if you're familiar, anybody is familiar with our in sessions, but those are on our YouTube page. What that does is me having a conversation. It can be a conversation on cooking. It can be a conversation on parents raising children or children. And those are for you to get in and comment in session. You know, sometimes we have to drive to go to appointments, right? Get in our car, get on the bus, train, airplane, or however form of or whatever form of transportation. But your just clicking a button puts you right directly connected whenever you want. We don't necessarily have a time that we do the sessions, but every time you see that black and white card, it will say in session. You just tap on the button and there you are in the group. We want to make group sessions like we have and individual sessions. Now, in sessions doesn't always have to be me starting. It could be maybe you have a question. And keep in mind that we're not doing debates because this is not the platform for that. But we want to get connected to you. We're not going to be people that judge you. We're not going to make this about disconnection. The idea is to connect. Just remember that. In fact, today's podcast is all about 5 years and connecting. So when you call in and you have something on your mind, sometimes we're just going to listen. And we may ask you a series of questions. And keep in mind, it's on air. Now, your personal sessions are yours alone. And here's how it is. Let's say that you want to make a one-on-one with me appointment. You're going to get directly connected to me either by text or call. And when you make that text or call, it is strictly up to you to commit. I'm not going to chase you because you're going to tell me if you really want to work on healing. You're going to, in fact, make the appointment when you call or not. And here's how it works. I do not do WhatsApp. So please don't give me those kind of numbers. If you have another number where you're, because some people don't like to give out their home numbers. I don't particularly use WhatsApp for this business, and I'll tell you why. Because all people that call me, once I call you back, you will be set up on Zoom. And you could connect with me while you're at work. People take 15 minutes. 15 minutes does a person a lot of good. 5 minutes, I will take that time out for you. If you send me a message through Instagram or Facebook, make sure we know your name and make sure that it is a number that has video access. Now, there are other numbers that you can use besides WhatsApp. I will not do WhatsApp. You hear us all the time. There's very rarely times where you get to see it, but we want more of that. We want more of that. Even Trish and I, we've talked about doing videos where once we're live, we can see each other because we live across thousands of miles from each other. I'm on West Coast and Trish is on East Coast, Trish? Or
Yes, I am.
yeah. And so we want you to know that we're real. We want to know that you're real. We take it very, very personal here. And we want you to feel like this is a safe place for you. Resources. Resources. I'd be glad to get you because I'm trained to do that. If you need recovery from something, you need a safe place to be, from domestic violence. We want, or any kind of trauma, we want to make sure that you're safe, you and your family, especially when it comes to your children. We want to make sure that you guys are safe. So if you need resources to finding a home for women or men or recovery, anything like that, counseling, we have those numbers. Wherever you're living, we will research that. And we have. We ask that you do your own work, in that a person who goes to the gym does not expect the person to his left or right to push the button to get their workout. Your button, that is. Everybody everybody has access to how they want to work out. And that's what's going to happen with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. You're going to get a real workout, both emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically.
That's true.
Go ahead, Trish.
I was saying that's true. Like from personal experience, I did the work, and it is a workout emotionally and mentally, but it's worth it though. But that's for you to decide.
Thank you, Trish. We have no scripts, by the way. That came from Trish, and so totally appreciate that. You must do your own work, just like in school. If your brother did your homework, or your sister did your homework, or you took something from your sister's old class that she used to be in that class years ago, can you get credit for it? Nah. So healing is the purpose of Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. How do we heal? Well, being a professional certified life coach and wellness, you begin with yourself. And then once you're working on that journey, you have someone come along. You know, the other day I was driving and I saw two people that were walking, and I thought about their journey. I said, you know, they must do this every day. You know how you see people walking around the park or in the neighborhood, and you see them regularly. Maybe they didn't start by themselves, and when they did, they wanted other people to experience what they've experienced. So they said, come along. You can do that at Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast by your sharing the experience. Now, whoever is out there listening, what I would like to say today is, how many times have you walked away and you felt good about the conversations that have been here? Or you've said, boy, I wish so-and-so would have been here. You have my permission to share, especially if you're streaming. Now, I notice with our host, and Trish, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I want to make mention of something that they talk a lot about monetizing. Let's talk about that for a moment. How do you understand monetizing, Trish? I want to explain something.
How I understand monetizing. I think I think there are two factors to monetizing. One factor is receiving profit for content, and the other is like copyright claim, basically. Those are the two factors in monetizing.
Okay, everybody heard that, right? And so the world is into getting there. There's always something behind it. So here's what I'm thinking. Every time that we do a video, we're doing the video not to gain profit. Not to gain profit. But we must be very close, because all the videos, since we've been in our 5-year mark, started with monetizing this and monetizing that. So we're getting awful close because we got a lot of videos. But here's my desire. I'm not in this for the money. Although we do tell you what our Cash App is. Why do we tell you what our Cash App is? Because some of you have asked, how do we run our program? If we were poor, broken, dirty, if it helped you, it helps us. Your knowledge of knowing our Cash App is for you to volunteer if you'd like to. We're not rich. We don't gain profit. If you want to volunteer and see more things like this, it doesn't cost us. But we'd like to be able to take our vision and be able to perhaps open it up to where we're having in-house, where we actually have a structured building. That would be the only purpose, and we turn that money over into usefulness. Nothing of our own doing. For those of you who want to volunteer, any type of donation, vibetalkfacethelion on Cashapp. But we want you to know that anytime you make an appointment with me, anytime that you feel like you want to donate, you can do that. And we hope that you will take the opportunity to experience us for the first time. Every year from now, or from 5 years ago, look different. How so? Because we always started with a new logo. In fact, Trish, you did such a beautiful job with the ad that you did for us, for the lion, that took away the things that we have done over the logos that we've done. I don't know how you did it, but it was awesome. Our logos have changed because you see, when we created, we had to come up with something that was our own. And even with the new programming of AI, imagine that I've written a song. Trish is familiar with writing songs because she is, by nature, a songwriter and a singer. But we actually have written a song. And I'm so proud of myself to see what technology does. This is a message to Facebook and Instagram. We aren't in it for profit. We do this because one human is deserving of life. And if we can get one human to stay here one more day just because we've heard this, we've done our job. By the way, we always want to include in our podcast the crisis prevention hotline for suicide and trauma, because we're not trained doctors. We are here strictly for helping you understand your emotion, that you see others by way of support, by relatability. You will see and hear others. That's why the calls were so important to me. Because when you hear someone going through real life situation, how many times have we said we can relate? We've said that a lot because there's real people. We face the challenge of facing ourselves. No one knows you better than you know yourself. So we're 5 years and counting, and as we come back, we want you to understand that we mean what we say. We're going to come back with Trisha's Treasures. We'll be right back.
Facing the lion helps you to be strong and face all your fears. Yes, inspires you through tears. Motivates your mind, let the march you fight home. Despite any kind of challenge you accept. Oh yeah, you will want to change and transform your life. As you think about it, you can chill for a bit. As you take care of you, you'll know there's nothing else to do. Oh, vibe talk, yes, vibe talk.
We're back with Trisha's Treasures. 5 years and counting.
It's been 5 years, and as I was sitting here reminiscing, I was like, 5 years is a long time, but it seems so short. But we've done so much in 5 years, and I started to think about um, when I joined Vibe Talk, about how I was so passionate and so supportive of Vibe Talk. I still am. And I was thinking of about like why am I so supportive of it? Why am I so passionate about it? And that's an important question, because if you decide to be a part of something this long, you must have like a deep feeling towards it, and I do. And the answer to my why is because I have always been motivated into helping people see their purpose and see that there's hope for them, and it's something that I've always been passionate about. Like when I was younger, I always wanted to be a part of something that helps other people. Like I didn't know what it would be, but it had to be something to help somebody. And um I didn't know that I would be here 5 years ago. I had no idea, but I'm here, and I'm so blessed to be a part of something like this, and the motivation has not died. It has actually gotten stronger each year. We always grow, we always see something more that we can do. And what I love so much about Vibe Talk in these 5 years is that the message has not changed. Before, the slogan used to be, "We'll help you be a better you, so and a better me," and that's still a thing for us. But it's about facing challenges and being motivated to face what you're going through in your life and continuing to grow, and being well and taking care of yourself. And that's something I feel like that deserves support. And we appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone that came into Vibe Talk, and they enjoyed our message and they spent time with us. We've had lots of people from different careers. We had an EMT, as you guys heard from Scars Anyone. We had a chef come in here. Yep, we had one. Um we had an artist. We had a farmer. Yes, I remember that one. we had
Yeah,
a lot of we had a lot of people
I
come in
forgot
here.
about the farmer.
Yeah. We had a lot of people coming here, and it just shows, like, okay, you're on your phone, you're on your device, but you can still meet lots of people and get to know and get to be on ground level and understand that, just because they're on the other side of the world or on the other side of the screen, it doesn't change the fact that we both are human and we have problems. We all need to express ourselves. We all have emotions. We all have things that we can relate to with each other. And um so I say that to say that for this motivational Monday and 5 years and counting, I just want to say that the motivation for being a co-host in Vibe Talk, it has gotten stronger, and I'm so happy to be a part of this project or a part of this movement that it is. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that part, lion power. Every time you hear that, thank you, Trish. That's part of our segment called Trish's Treasures. And I must say, Trish's Treasures has even awed me. I am in awe of the things that Trish comes up with, uh, all the assignments that I've ever done for Vibe Talk facing the line, or assigned, I should say. Trish has done every last one of them. And you can see much of her artwork on YouTube. Trish, you have some of your artwork there?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And here is some of her commentary about her art. She gets into it. And here's what I'm hoping for each and every one of my clients that really want a mental and emotional workout toward your healing process, that you will work just as hard, you will be just as dedicated, and you will really want to see the change. It is possible. All you have to do is believe it. You know that one thing that I said the first time that you try it and you love it, and then I ask you about tasting it again and again, you want more and more of it, kind of what Trish was talking about. That's the build up to your one. No one can make you. You know, we've heard our parents tell us when we were very young to drink our milk. And they tell us 50,000 times why we should drink the milk, or to eat our spinach or our broccoli because it's going to make us strong, right? But in our minds, we don't make sense of it. It's our parents that tell us to do this because it's good for you. It will do something for you. You know, when I was little, I used to say about the spinach because I liked Popeye. I love the cartoon Popeye. And I know that Popeye was always about eating his spinach because Popeye was able to beat up Brutus whenever Brutus did something to olive oil. Now, what's the point in this? Here's the point. It will, as you intake for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion, empower you. Just one word, empower you. Because when Popeye opened that spinach and ate all his spinach, you knew what was going to happen. Let's try it before we say we don't like it. I want to, in my heart of hearts, thank each and every one of you. What I'd like you guys to do, because it is our 5 years and counting, is when you hear this podcast today, let us know where you listen from. You don't even have to put your name, just your town. Because if you're 1% over in the farthest country, that's 1%. And we've done something good for. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to my awesome co-host. You'll be able to get this podcast streamed today. It will be up in the next half an hour. I want to say thank you to our audience of every shape, color, culture, background, ethnicity, religion. Thank you, because you make the difference. We challenge you for 5 more years of being with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Thanks, everybody. This is your Monday motivation.
Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about. I was really about the moves and then I got the vibe with it. I really took the time with it. I really love the ride with it. Really got the vibe with it. I took the time with it. I really love the ride with it. You can finally see a better you when you get the vibe with it. Yeah, when you get the vibe.